So, this is what I want to do. Can I do another poem?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna do this piece, and then we can talk a little bit. We can ask. Is it cool? We can ask you questions. Think in your brain right now. Y'all too quiet for me. I'm from the northwest side of Chicago. It's really good over there. We're really loud. I'm not used to being quiet, even in the morning. This is how I usually talk. If you were in the car with me and we was driving down the street, this is how I would talk to you. When you'd be really upset because it's too damn early to be that loud. So for me, you know, when I was struggling with this issue of identity, there was a summer in my neighborhood where there was 40 shootings and 4 murders within a weekend. It was like a 3-day weekend in my neighborhood in Chicago. It wasn't like all of Chicago, it was like that neighborhood. And I started to struggle with this issue of violence because a lot of times when we see things on the news and we see things on television, and in particular, like Chicago's a hotbed right now, musically, but also in the news around this issue called Chirac, which is like Chicago's a war zone, right? And if you go to any community of color, a lot of times we deal with similar issues around violence. But I wanted to think about what would make a young person kill another young person. And I started to think about this issue called colonialism, and I started thinking about this issue of self-hate or racism and internalized racism. And so these concepts are really like college concepts, and a lot of times in my community, I can't just go up to people and say, hey, do you know about colonialism? And start trying to like talk to them about these issues if I'm not relating to them in a real way. And so when a young person deals with another young person in a negative way, a lot of times it's a reflection of self. So if you don't love yourself, and the person closest to you is someone that looks like you, walks like you, talks like you, acts like you, thinks like you, smells like you, it's really a reflection of you. So it's very easy for somebody in the hood to kill someone that looks like them because they don't love themselves. And so I tried to struggle with this issue, and I created this piece called Man With No Name. And then I'll perform this piece for you now. I'm getting over a cold, so I struggle sometimes through certain lines, but it'll be all right. I touch pen to paper, let my voice be heard in search of the true word of God. Got me wondering about the situation that we in. When will it all end? They tell me the end is near, but what should I fear? It's here in a lonely night. My mind takes flight in search for the light, but I can't lie to my sight. But what I see through the facade of a fake democracy, monetary units got young living dead blasted with no hope. Young babies gon' hook that dope. Shorty's dying over the sales of coke. Eyes only seen through the gun smoke. Yet I must maintain this upon this worldly game. But who's to blame when the East they came in the name of God? They brought tribes and chains to work the rugged terrain. Some left a man colonized with no name. Some left a man with no name. Bred in my blood by Spanish rule, very apparent by the white skin and the green eyes I see the world through. The truth is hard to swallow, but how can you swallow if you can't even chew? One of the confusion without a clue of what to do. Only seeing the world in blue, left with no options. What would you do? I question our very existence. What does it all mean? All that I've seen, walk in life with no legs on a wobbly high beam. Pain, agony, hate, venom, rage, all that exists. At least it tells us what it seems. Every corner a new scheme. Your vision must be keen to be something with the wrong team. But who's to say who's wrong or right? I'm just a man prepared to fight for universal human rights. I'm blinded by the light, yet I can't see at night. And despite the evil games corporations and governments play, I must find my way through the struggle day by day. In these times, you could be killed by what you say. But if left unsaid, I would rather be dead. But if left unsaid, I would rather be dead. The truth shall set you free. At least it was taught to me at Adam 8 from the tree of knowledge, locked in a paradise with no key. Knowledge of self-history gives you identity. Knowledge of self-history gives you identity, which is more powerful than any gun, any weapon, any army. It's confident of the mind. This isn't the planet just to commit crime because our population made a crime. My ancestors after time to be put in a rhyme to define. They prepared a crime in order to reach the divine. Reality got me hurting and certain what the future for I used to be. Caught up in the cycle of poverty, drug abuse and HIV, robbery, lost sense of community, practice of equality, erase history, ghetto misery, killer per currency, no identity, 3 strikes, lock you up, that's just policy. What you gotta say was theology, outright tyranny, false through the wheat, our free to the cut down tree, locked with a broken key, lost responsibility. Time to create our own realities. That's that piece. We don't have that much time, we only got like 20 minutes, but so what I want to do is just open it up really quick for a few questions. Then we can actually kind of dialogue. That's cool. Is that cool? I'm really looking more at the students. So if I don't see y'all move your heads, I'm gonna just be like, all right. Because like your teachers would be like, yeah, of course. Everybody else is like, so. All right. Oh, and this is open to teachers too. This session, this part of it. I don't want to feel like you're being oppressed. Go ahead.
Could we find any of your poetry online anywhere?
Yeah, my website is reyespoetry.com. I have some cards that I'll give out before we leave. You know, I used to want to be a rapper really bad and stuff, so I wear Jordans and gold chains and things like that, but then I was just a poet. But I kept that sentiment. So if you go onto my website, I have a lot of music videos. I have about 6 that are posted right now. I'm constantly working on new music videos, like MTV quality type videos. With the new technology you have, you can create really beautiful visuals if you know how to use the tools that you have. So yeah, if you go online, you can see all my stuff is up there. You can see it on YouTube, and on Twitter, and Instagram. I like to use the gram a lot. So you can see me on Instagram.
You say that you want to be a rapper. Is there any rappers that are very inspirational to you? Like any of your favorite rappers that you like?
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of new stuff as well as old stuff. I like J. Cole. I listen to Kendrick Lamar. I like Chance the Rapper. But then I like in the same breath, I like a lot of like kind of I don't know how to express it without swearing, but good stuff. So like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that comes out the hood that I really like too, that I enjoy. So I like to have a balance, not just all that conscious. All right, so any other questions? Oh man, you can't have 3 questions in a row, man. So you might have to if there ain't no other questions. All right, go ahead, we'll go here and then we'll go there.
I'm really curious how, because you said you're full of rage, like how did you, was there a process or did you just immediately like turn to poetry? Like how did you go rage poetry? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't think like growing up that I even knew to be a poet. I didn't even know like my job existed. Before I was doing poetry full time, I was a youth organizer. I didn't even know that was a job. So I went basically a transition slowly, right? Like I didn't know I was very good at like thing is like you'll be surprised how encouraging, especially as a role as a teacher, and how damaging teachers can be as well. But how encouraging a teacher can be just by saying, "Oh, you should try that out. You seem like you're pretty good at it." Because it was a teacher in 8th grade that suggested I should try to write more. Because she read like one poem that was probably like the most I remember the poem, but it was a political poem, but it was probably the most simple poem. And that encouragement, step after step, allowed me to kind of get to a space where then I felt like I realized like there's a poet named Malik Yusuf who's one of my like poetry mentors. Malik Yusuf is in Chicago, and Malik Yusuf writes for Kanye West. He's a ghostwriter. He wrote a few songs, as well as this other artist, Ryan Best, who also writes for Kanye West. And Malik Yusuf is like my mentor. So I saw Malik Yusuf putting music videos out around poetry, right? And so that encouraged me to be like, all right, well, if he can do that in Chicago, I think I can do it too. But it was a slow transition, right? That's finding my outlet. My outlet just happened to be poetry. Like at the time when I was first started writing, my cousin had just got incarcerated and was basically doing a life sentence for attempted murder. But he was only 15 and got incarcerated trying to shoot. He did shoot somebody and went to prison. So my kind of closest male kind of role model then was in prison. And in some ways, I didn't have that kind of to follow anything. And so art became kind of an outlet. Culture became a space for that.
Have you tried to do collaborations?
Yeah, I mean, I collaborate with a lot of artists. I consistently, my last album was with this young brother named DJ Ozone, and DJ Ozone has a really good name in kind of like music. And he worked with a lot of different artists, and we collaborate on albums. A lot of times as a poet, I collaborate with producers to kind of put together something like production.
You said your friend's work helped write stuff for Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
Has Is the stuff that you write just like for like is there stuff from like thesis or from like?
No, it was from his. Well, he writes. I mean, he's part of good music, so he writes for the whole label. Like if you write for a team, you're gonna write for. I don't even know how many accolades he had, but he wrote. Especially for College Dropout. He wrote crack music, and I don't know if you heard College Dropout, but like that last kind of bars on that verse, which is like a poem, it's Malik Yusuf. And he's done other stuff too with College. He wrote, like, he's got a Grammy from that album. But
What's the name of your album?
what's that?
What's the name of your album?
My album is called We Are. I have 3 albums, but the last album is called We Are, which just is about my experiences in the U.S. as a lot of kind of struggling with those issues. The last single that I put out was, last video I put out was called Bring Him Home, which was about a Puerto Rican political prisoner. And we filmed it in Puerto Rico, we filmed in New York, and we filmed Philadelphia, Detroit, and Chicago. And we just traveled and kind of filmed this story about 2 kids traveling and trying to bring this guy home. Oscar with it. We'll take like maybe 2 more and then I'll do maybe another piece. Go ahead. He's just assuming now.
Was there ever a point where you just wanted to give up?
With like poetry?
Yeah.
There was a point where I wasn't brave enough to try it full time. Like, what happens a lot of times is that with artists or with folks that may have a talent in something, we don't really try hard enough to really break through. So we do just a little bit so people give us kind of accolades, but our fear to fail outweighs our fear to be successful. What I mean by that is like, I've been full-time for 5 years as an artist. I've been professional for about 15 years. And there was a point where I was just a little too afraid, I think, to step out and be a full-time artist. Because there's always a lot more haters than there's people being positive. I don't know why we just love to like say like, oh, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like, I can do that. Oh, I want to play ball. No, you can't even do that. And what I feel is that people project what they're not willing to do onto you. What I mean by that is, if you have a dream, right? All of you should have some type of dream. What takes place is, if that dream isn't kind of aligned with what is normal, which is like, oh, go to college and get a job, and you could be a nurse, which is a great thing to do. But if your dream is to be something else that's not normal, people tend to project onto you their own insecurities. That's why you get so many people telling you, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Because you ain't going to be able to do that, but I guarantee you I'm going to be able to do that. So for me, there was times where I felt that if I just did a little bit, people would give me some accolades, but I didn't have to really challenge myself. And so I had to focus on challenging myself. If that makes sense. Yeah, so there was that. All right, so we'll do like one more question. Somebody different. What's your name?
Dakota.
What is it?
Dakota.
Dakota. So someone different than Dakota. And then I'll do like one last piece or something. Right. You got one? Oh, you don't have one or do you?
Do you know some of the rappers from Chicago?
Do I know some of them?
Yeah.
I ran into a lot of them because it's a small scene. Like, I don't know if you know K got bands, like all that ignorance. I mean, I love it, but it really don't make no damn sense. But like K got bands, I ran into. I was at something with what's the dude from what's the one that produces all the time? He's like a big dude with dreadlocks. King Louie. Ran into King Louie a few times at an event. It was like a positive event too, which was like an anti-violence event, which was kind of cool actually. But at that same event, there was a bunch of other rappers, like underground hip hop artists, like Talib Kweli, Brother Ali from over here. So it was weird. Go ahead.
But you got bands that they should have a really beforehand.
I don't know. I didn't
Without
notice. She has a nice smile. I don't know. I didn't really notice. I was kind of like, I know her music, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But if somebody's doing something, I don't know. It's hard for me because at one level, like the music is like in a way reflecting like this negative stuff, right? When people talk about Chief Keef, right? Chief Keef is like the poster child of negative music. Everybody knows who Chief Keef is. You've seen them on like television or on TV. And to me, a lot of people from my generation who's a little bit older are like, oh, that's not real music, and I feel they sound like old people to me. But it's like, what happens is, I think in music is like, to me, Chief Keef is a reflection of what's happening in Chicago. He's from an area that's really underserved, where there's no programs, where the kids a lot of times are left to the streets. And so what he's reflecting is that generation's kind of reality in a lot of ways. And it's a very simple kind of like drill music beat with, kind of like the hooks kind of over and over and over and over and over and over. But to me, it's interesting, because I'm an artist, so I find it interesting. Some people don't really like it. I mean, I find it, I enjoy it because sometimes you want to be turned. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to be listening all the time. You want to be like out just, like kind of hanging out listening to music. You don't want to be thinking about what's happening. I said turn. I said it correctly. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But yeah, I guess if you want to use the longer version of it. I noticed like slang, if you notice like it comes out and then it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and then the word went from turned up to turn to I don't know what the next word is. I'll just leave it. All right, cool. So y'all with me? We got like what, like I don't know, less than 10 minutes. Y'all with me? Y'all good? Y'all good? All right. So I don't know what I should do. It's hard because I gotta be honest with you. Like my sets are kind of ratchet, so I'm like my language right now. I'm very, very careful with the words I'm selecting. So you might like catch me today and you be like, oh, these are really great, and you catch me at night and it's all kinds of foul.
Just go
So,
with it.
Yeah, your language is
Just
just
go with
fine.
it. Yeah,
It's nothing they haven't heard.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Can I just say one thing? Just out of respect, at least for my class, my study hall, if the bell goes off, just stay seated and I'll write you guys a pass.
All of you. Yeah.
What time does the bell go off?
We don't know exactly.
Oh.
I
I love how the school's organized. We don't know. That's the only way it works in school, because if it was your paycheck, y'all would be going crazy. Like, when we get paid? We don't know. All right, so I'll do like one last thing. So I'm trying to think what direction to go in. And I guess I'll do, I guess I can do this piece. So I'll do a piece called We Are. And I was approached by HBO to write this piece, and basically what they asked me to do was create like a piece about being Latino. And so like where I'm from, I mean, Latino is a lot of different things. A lot of times Latino can be like, for people, Latino is like being like Mexican for people, right? So if you only know Mexicans, that's your version of Latino, right? And so for me, I was thinking about all the folks that I know that are Latino, but there's like multiple identities of being kind of like a Latino. If you're not Latino, I'm hoping that you can reach the humanity of this. I'll spit this poem called We Are. While I was writing this, I was spitting on the rooftop, right? And I had like my eyes closed, and I felt like I was all sexy and everything. Like the summertime, I was like really skinny, and I had this like tank top on, and I don't know, I look like an idiot now when I look at it. But I think they wanted me to like fall off the roof to my death, or if you could imagine, like falling to your death, reading poetry, and how many hits on YouTube that would get a lot. So, I think that's what they wanted me to do. I don't know, like for me, we like to see people get messed up. I don't know how, like out here it's like a lot of snow, right? And is there like, I'm assuming there's no like underage clubs, right? Like I know like in some places they got like 15 to 18-year-old clubs, but if you go out, I'm sure you might go to a party or something. Maybe one of your girls is out and she got on heels and she's trying to look real pretty and everything, and it's like really late and you coming out and you fall and bust your ass hard as hell. And you wait though for a minute just to see if she's all right, and you like wait till she breathes. And when she breathes, you like, I told your ass not to wear them damn heels out. It's like that, we like to see people get hurt. Like I got a niece. My niece is like 5 or 9. Niece the same age. You have to watch kids in the same age. So like one time, you know, my brother like, "Can you babysit?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I babysit. How hard can it be? Put a kid in front of the TV, watch the door explore, you be alright." So she like kids don't work that way. So she's like running around the house and she's like playing with a paper clip and starts sticking it into like an electrical outlet. And I'm like, "Oh, we gonna learn today, bro. We gonna learn today." So, you know, she gets shot. And you just wait for a minute to make sure she's still alive. And she breathes, and I'm like, "I told your ass not to be running around the damn house, man." So it's like that, you know. So, you know, at the bell. So anyway, now that they unleashed me, I feel a lot more comfortable. I still have to be conscious. I'm telling you right now, like it's funny because I'll do like a conference, right, and it's like a clean version, and people will come to my show with their grandmother at night, and it's like people have this idea about poetry, but like at the end of the day, we still artists, and like if you just talk to us, it's like every foul, every bad word that you can use in a sentence, I'll try to use just to make people uncomfortable. And so like the grandmother will be in the front, and I don't change it. It's gonna be the same. People like, but there's kids in the audience. You brought your kids out tonight. So for me, it's fun with poetry. So I'll do this last piece called "We Are," and it's just about like my struggle with trying to project kind of Latino identity. And if you check out the video, there's like 50 people that are young people from across the country that identify as Latino, and they're like different looks, because Latino can be black, you can look Asian, you can look native, you can look white like me. Every mix of identity is within Latino. You know, one thing about Latinos is like we'll have sex with anybody. And it's because we're mixed identity, right? Because we have everything in us. You know what I'm saying? So, safe sex. All right, here we go. We are the wretched of the earth, the labor that moves the sand. We are spicks, niggas, wetbacks, Venus, pork chops. We are U.S. treaty value. We are body dwellers, culture creators, cut across communal skies. We are loving abuelos and abuelas. We are community builders, stopping gentrification. We are presos politicos. We are freedom fighters. We are peasant farmers, urban harvest. We are the children of Latin America, vastly speaking, forgotten tongues in the new land, an ancient land. We are the children of African slaves, indigenous blood, Spanish conquest. We are Irish, German, Arab, Jewish, Muslim. We are the children of Simón Bolívar. We are the children of Pancho Villa, Zapata, of Chevalita, Lolita Lebrón. We are the children of the Zapatistas. We are the children of Latin America, exiled to oblivion. We are love, compassion, and hope. We are Cesar Suega and Si Se Puede. We are elite shots on Congress. We are the Brown Berets and Chicano movement. We are the Young Lords. We are the Cuban people in 59. We are the Venezuelan Bolivarian Revolution. We are New Rican poets penning Puerto Rican pride. We are undocumented peoples crossing borders, breaking barriers and boundaries. We are separated families split by concrete thorns made of steel. We are Zocalo, Bateo, Vano, Chicago, Boricua, Chicano, Sha Rican, Mexicano, Puerto Rican, Dominicano, Centro Dominicano, Mexican, Rican, Latino, Sha, Cano. We are breakers, DJs, MCs, painting poems on walls. We are loved, despised, hated, and aestheticized. We are faces in crowds that marches against the war in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Palestine. We are those who stand alongside blacks. If we are people from modern-day slavery, we are Christ, Moses, Quetzalcoatl, Tunitzin. We are the sun that shines bright. We are unified community chanting Boricua Mexicano, luchando mano a mano. We are the new American dream. We are those who create love from hate, hope from despair, compassion from none, humility from arrogance. We are those who say live and help to live. We are 500 years of resistance. Welcome to America. Welcome to the new world. Thank you. So now it's time to do some Instagram love real quick. So let's do some selfies real fast. So I'm going to do section by section, so, just got to look really good in this. I hope you dress up nice because the people are going to Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.